So, what is your name, title, and what company do you work for?
So my name is Nicholas Rao. I go by Nick. The company I work for is Nexstar Network, and my title is Digital Marketing Coach.
What can a business expect when they become a Nexstar member?
So when you become a Nexstar member, there's a lot of things that go along with it. You get access to a library of resources, but the main thing that they gain access to is a bench of coaches. So there are 14, maybe more coaches now. We keep hiring more coaches that a member company will have available to them that will cover topics as general as business coaching and implementation coaching, all the way down to very specific things: accounting coaching, marketing coaching, sales coaching. So they'll have all of these experts available to them to ask questions to and to get information from. They'll also gain access to the network itself. So the company that I work for is Nexstar Network. It is a membership-owned organization, and the idea is that we are driving progress in the world of the trades, specifically for plumbing, HVAC, and electrical companies, and that we are doing that by bringing the best together to further enhance those ideas and push them forward. So they'll be able to interact with their peers, figure out what's worked, and have conversations with them so that they're able to further improve their business.
Awesome. What business is the ideal Nexstar member?
So the ideal Nexstar member is a member that is ready to grow. We are looking for people who are stuck, somebody who has been trying to overcome these gaps and just can't seem to figure out how to do it. A lot of times it's people who started their business themselves. They worked for a different company and didn't want to report to their boss. They wanted to be the boss. And then once they got into it, didn't realize how many different things go into that. So people who are hitting roadblocks and really would like to get over them, but just can't seem to figure out how. Nexstar tends to be that thing that can help them overcome those roadblocks and see the things that they are not seeing and ways to overcome it that they may not know. We do have a more definitive answer would be okay, we have closed markets. So there's some markets where we just can't accept any more people. We usually also work within a specific range of revenue. Not that we don't accept people. We have some companies that are pretty small, maybe $1 million, but we have all the way up to $50, $100 million companies. But usually we have a threshold for that. Did you want that kind of answer, or were you looking for in general,
That's a really
what
good
kind of
answer.
company?
Yeah, that's a really good question and a really good answer, because we're trying to align and also, what we can work with $50 million companies. Absolutely. We do that all the time. $1 million companies all the time. So, but we have, I think have the most value with HVAC and plumbing businesses when they're about 3 to 5 wanting to get to 10, and that massive growth rapid phase. So for us, that's where we really shine. But if you could kind of give me context as to it doesn't need to be revenue if that's what you look for, or if it's not what you look for, but just when you are having a conversation with a potential member, what would cause you to go, you would be a good member for Nexstar?
Okay. So yeah, from that side, we do tend to look for companies that are a little bit more established. Somebody that is at probably 3 to 5 million and maybe looking to get more. We do go a little lower than that, and we definitely go higher than that. But the reason that we do that is because it is set up in a way that it is Nexstar is for people who are trying to train their company, that they have a suite of employees that are working on their behalf that potentially would need service system training and training in these other things. So when it's a very small team that's still tackling a lot of different things, a lot of what Nexstar has to offer maybe just isn't ready for them because they are they're still doing too much of that interior work. And it's really those companies that are a little bit bigger, that have potentially 4 or 5 trucks out there at a time and are trying to manage that. That tends to be more where Nexstar slides in there. So we do, like I said, we also have some closed geographical markets So that plays into it as well, but there's no market that we would potentially exclude. Anywhere within the United States, Canada, and Australia is possible. It just depends on if we have too many people in your area already, we might not be able to serve you.
Great answer. Okay. What does the relationship look like between third parties? So the member, the agency, coaching, etc.
So yeah, the way that we work is we are a membership owned organization. So technically the members are my boss, but that doesn't mean that necessarily like I am only working for them. The way that we work together is that my goal is for their success. So if my goal is to help you guys kind of explain what's going on and help them understand the numbers, a lot of times it is like working that relationship to making sure that what you're providing to them makes sense and is what they need right now. And what they're providing to you helps you get your job done. So that relationship, a lot of times it is like us acting potentially as like a mediator to make sure that everybody is getting what they need out of the relationship to make sure that the best possible success can come from that. Because the success for the member is that the marketing work being done by you guys is really driving them forward. The success for you guys is that you have a successful member that you're working with that is growing and moving up and getting better. And the success for us is that that happens. So as long as we're providing that excellent kind of collaboration, that's what's most important to us.
Okay, so when speaking with HVAC and plumbing businesses, what are the most important factors in a successful agency relationship?
So a lot of times what we end up seeing is, and I'll use kind of like a bad example, a lot of times it is that poor communication causes issues, that it is people who are not necessarily engaging with them. They're sending automated reports that go over to them, but they keep kind of pushing the monthly phone calls. Oh, we don't need to catch up this month. We'll catch up next month, stuff like that. Or reporting that is very generic of like, oh, here's an automated dashboard from Google Analytics or from even your own system. Just sending that over. A lot of times they don't know what that means. And they don't know what they're supposed to do with that information, whether or not it's good information or not. If they don't know what to do with it, it really doesn't do anything for them. So what we're really looking for on a successful agency relationship is an agency that is talking to them, an agency that knows what they're trying to accomplish and is able to do that and report it back to them in a way that makes sense. So, hey, we saw that, like, we talked it out. These are the problems that you guys had. We came up with solutions. We implemented the solutions, and these are the results that we're seeing from that. So definitely, like, the most important factor, other than like obviously performance, we want them to be making more money, but that communication is really going to be super important, especially in an industry where there's so much seasonality, and month over month decreases can actually be potentially an expected like part of the business. And that doesn't necessarily mean that things are going wrong. So it really is about communicating that and making sure they understand. And that's what grows those healthy relationships.
Great. You're so good at this.
It's like I do Zoom calls like all the time.
Yeah, weird. What are the bad font? What are the most common 3 objectives HVAC and plumbing businesses have when it comes to marketing?
So the most common objectives that they're going to have is really, it breaks down into kind of like 3 things, these 3 big pieces, which is first that they are part of the consideration phase. Especially in our trades, we are not a desirable place. A lot of times it is electrical, your electricity's out, your water isn't running, or you don't have hot water, or your house is freezing cold and you don't have any heat. Like, these aren't necessarily things that are like fancy goods. These are essentials that we need. So people don't tend to think about them. They take them for granted a lot. So when there is a problem, because we're low to no interest, the first thing that we want out of the marketing is that they are included in that consideration phase. We do a lot of pieces from traditional marketing and digital marketing to make sure that when that issue happens and when this need arises, that we are as best positioned as possible to be considered and to like kind of take that next step of, this is a company I could potentially use to solve this problem, a problem I never hope to have, and a problem I never hope to have again. So once you are through that like process of, okay, now we're in the consideration phase, it really is about getting the leads. So yes, consideration is great. We want to be there, but if nobody's actually getting in contact with us, there's no, like, we're not doing anything. Our technicians have no opportunities. So the second thing is really making sure that we take those opportunities and we capitalize on them to create a phone call or a form or some opportunity for the client or member to really get in there and do what they need to do and prove that their worth to the client. Ultimately, the biggest goal is going to be money. More than anything else, as long as they are making money, that is the end goal for them. Whether we are shifting budget one place or another, we're more focused on SEO or PPC, as long as it is accomplishing their goal, their technicians are running jobs, those jobs are leading to money for them. That's the most important piece. So.
Okay. So without fishing for compliments or anything like that, when you refer ADHOME, what are the main reasons you would recommend us over another partner? So because we are good, or you think we're good working with the size of business, industry knowledge, software, etc.
So, brutal honesty about ourselves, one of the main reasons that we are going with you is because you guys are Canadian and you're based in Canada. So you are our first and one of the few Canadian recommended partners that we are going to have. So that is a big deal. A lot of Canadian members do not want to try to work with conversion rates and have to deal with all of that. So the fact that you're Canadian is going to be helpful, especially for that market. It is not going to be a hindrance, though. We do push up clients from the United States over to you as well. It's not like we're only going to push the Canadian clients to you. But that was a big factor in it. Another one was the kind of the relationship that you guys had with making sure that you are dialed into their current needs through the call board. That is really important for our clients, is that because, like I said, there's seasonality, there's a lot of weather, it's not weather dependent, but weather enhanced traffic. We want to make sure that the digital marketing that is going out that can be controlled is controlled when needed. So the ability that you guys have to like, and the passion you have for, okay, well, what does your call board look like? How can we make sure that you're getting what you need is actually really important and something that a lot of our members have been looking for. So that kind of side of it is something that we will definitely push people towards you. And the other one was, again, the ease of use of that platform, that you guys do have something where our members can go in and potentially add content in, and that they can do it on a more self-serve basis. A lot of our digital agencies that we're working with today are very much like lockdown. If you want changes made to the site, you have to email them. They have to work it into the content calendar. It's got to be adjusted. So for people who are a little bit more advanced and kind of know what they're doing, that this is a great platform for them to be able to make those changes quickly and effectively without having to go through a long process and potentially wait weeks or months for this to be a priority for the account manager at the agency. They have that access to do it themselves. So those three things are really big selling points that we have that differentiate you guys, and why we would push people over to you over somebody else.
Great. No mention of profit, Phil, hey?
Well, I didn't want to call it out by name. I didn't know where you were on it.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you an update on it in a minute. But if
Okay.
you know what, I'm going to add one in later. We'll do it when I actually have it working, and I'll get a video testimonial from you with an actual client. That'll be way better.
Yes, because that's that whole middle section about how much you care about the call board was the profit fill stuff, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't know.
You could say it. You could.
I mean, I guess if this is used for internal use, it did, then yes.
Yes. So what do you think of profit fill?
I love it, and you need to get it out to as many people as you can, because that's what everyone's looking for.
What are they looking for specifically? What do you love about it?
What I like about it is that it fulfills their needs in a way that doesn't waste their money. That they are in a position where almost all of our members are multi-trade, and they are throwing money into marketing and they don't always know where it's going. So to be able to see that, hey, the digital marketing, these pieces that I do have really good manipulation controls over, are being properly adjusted to make sure that what I need is what I'm getting, is amazing, because so many times we hear from our members that it's like, oh, well, my electrical team is booked out for 3 weeks, but my plumbers don't have any jobs, but we keep throwing money at PPC and it gets us more electrical jobs. And okay, I don't need any more. I'm wasting my money on these things because my agency doesn't know that I don't need electrical work. I need plumbing work. So to be able to really look into it and say, what do you need now? And how can we do that for you, is like, it's going to be amazing. And it's going to help a lot of people. And it's something that is very manual right now, where it has to be these like daily, weekly conversations back and forth and trying to integrate into like different pieces. And it ends up being a lot of manual maintenance, where if it's something that can be more automated, it would definitely solve the goals in a much quicker fashion.
What does digital marketing success look like for HVAC and plumbing companies?
So success looks like it more. Like that's what they want, especially because again, we're looking to grow. We are working with members who are looking to grow. So what digital marketing success looks like is that growth. A lot of times it can be improvement on something that wasn't working somewhere else. But generally it is steady, sustainable growth in these areas. So really looking at, okay, what is going on with the business? What do they need? How many technicians do they have? How many jobs do they need? What is the best way for us to fill that board in the most efficient way possible? So success for these companies is filling the board for as cheaply as possible.
That would have been my answer too, so I'm glad.
Alignment is very important.
Yeah. Okay, so I need new font, but what can you tell us in 30 seconds what makes Nexstar different from the others?
So what makes us different is that we have a vested interest in their success. Again, we're member owned. We are here to serve them. We are not here for our own benefit. We act as a nonprofit. Everything goes back into success for the membership. And it really is about that sustainable growth and making sure that we are within every facet of their business. It's not just you come here, we dump resources on you and you figure it out. We have coaches that will help you through it. We will talk you through it. We make sure that you have every possible chance to hit your growth targets and your goals, and that you can get what you want out of your business.
Okay, Nick, we got one, I guess, tradition. And everybody has to answer this question on their first staff meeting with our client or with our employees. So I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite breakfast cereal as a kid?
So favorite breakfast cereal as a kid, there's so many options, and I'm sure that I jumped through. I mean, you have your Boo Berry for the Halloween times. It's a very specific Boo Berry. Yes, the Count Chocula offshoot. But I would say the one that I probably went to the most was the Golden Grams. Golden Grams, it's just something, a perfect simplicity to it. It's like sweet enough, but it's filling enough. It's not overly, like the Lucky Charms have the marshmallows and that's wonderful, but the Golden Grams really, it strikes a really good balance. It's very well done. So that would be my favorite breakfast cereal, and definitely was when I was a kid. I always wanted to do the indoor s'mores recipe that they had on the back of the box, and I never got to.
With the gram ones?
Yeah, with the Golden Grams, it was like you could make like
Can you
these
not do
bars.
it now? Do you
I mean, I probably could. I just never have. I need
they sell
to.
Golden Grams still? They do.
They do, and they probably still have that. Like that was the thing. Like all the other cereals had like fun things to do on the back of them, and it would change all the time. But like Golden Grams always had that recipe on the back for like 20 years. I haven't bought Golden Grams in a while. I need to go back and see if it's still there and actually make them now.
I really appreciate it. I'm gonna just stop the recording because that's awesome. Okay.